Okay, so I am going to get right into it and just talk about something that I'm walking through right now and all of the messages that I'm receiving just from reading, listening to podcasts, and something that I'm actually observing right now. And I am not going to dance around it because I try to do that in videos to protect, you know, the other person or, people like who may know me personally and know who I'm referring to. But if I'm being honest, my circle is so small and not a lot of people know me. And so it really doesn't matter. So I'm just going to speak very candidly so that I'm clear in what I'm saying, because I think that's helpful. Whenever I watch videos and people are actually descriptive and just like candid and just really transparent, not trying to dance around things, I actually gain and learn a lot from it. So it's not that I'm actually trying to put anyone on blast street at all, not at all, but I do actually want to be clear. So here we go. So I've done a video about this. I have recently lost a long time friend. We've been friends since college, and we've had our ups and downs, and all people have their good and bad to them, and we've walked through and we've somehow been able to maintain a friendship. But some huge life things have been changing in that other person's life and in my life. And nevertheless, I have been kind of like, now that she cut me off, I've kind of been observing her thought process and where she's at mentally on social media and judging it because of where I'm at now, the way I see the world and the growth that I've had, thankfully, where I've like what I've walked through in my life. um I'm able to see things and be like, oh, that's projection. Oh, this person must really feel awful about themselves that they're projecting their feelings of themselves on other people by putting it in this post. um Blame shifting, arrogance, lack of accountability, all of these things that I've actually learned because I've been in programs and therapy and classes and Bible studies and all of this stuff. I put a lot of work into myself over the last 3 years. And so now I think I can judge where someone else is at. This has literally been happening. So I'm seeing this person. Obviously, I'm hurting. Well, I'm not really angry anymore because I really do, like, I'm at a place where I really do care about this person. So I'm not like angry, but my feelings are hurt about what happened in the friendship. And um and then I'm seeing their arrogance, projection, blame shifting, narcissist. I'm just gonna say it, narcissism. I'm seeing it all in their posts, all on their social media, and I'm like sitting here judging it. So here's an aside. I just bought my house last year, and I know this feels like jumping, but trust me, I'm gonna tie it all together. I just bought my house last year, and I did not water and feed my grass because I wasn't trying to have a high water bill. My grass died. So when my grass died, I realized my grass looks terrible, dead, while everybody else's grass is thriving. And all you see is just my, in between all the green grass, you see my brown grass because I was trying to save some money on water. So I was like, let me get my grass right. Like, I'm in a house now, I live in a neighborhood. My grass being dead because I'm trying to save on my water bill is an eyesore and it's making it all look bad. So I started researching how to bring my grass back to life. And the internet said, water it. Okay, obviously, I figured I was going to need to water my grass. Give it some fertilizer. So now I have to like buy extra food to put in my soil to like initiate that growth. And then it said rake it. And I was like, rake it? Why would I rake my dead like my grass now that it's growing? I'm like, I could see it's starting to get green and it's saying, rake it. I'm like, isn't that grass too fragile? If I rake it, won't it destroy my good grass, my new grass that's trying to grow in? Let me tell you, everything that is created by God is, let's say, resilient. It's not that fragile, even the new stuff. So I rake my grass and it like shuffles up all the dead grass, the grass that didn't even need to be there anymore. Just put it in a pile, move it out the way, and it gives room for the grass to grow. So I say that to say, what I've learned is that growth requires water, food, and disturbance. Like the obvious, like if I would never stop watering my grass, probably wouldn't have died. So go back to the regular watering. The food. Sometimes when it's time to grow, you got to give a little bit extra just to get that growth in there. You got to do a little bit more. You got to seek out a little bit more meat and to initiate the growth, to kind of like, I'm losing my word right now, but just to get that growth like to come. And then you got to disturb it. You have to disturb a thing to get it to grow. So back to my friend. I'm sitting here, and because I've had some growth in my life and I can see where I've done these things, blame shift, not take accountability for my actions, not take accountability for the seeds I've sown and why I'm in this position I'm right now, be able to get on social media with my anger and call people, that have been in my life that I've willingly engaged with, call them beneath me because now I'm angry at, not getting what I want from them, and projecting my real feelings about myself onto other people. All these things I've done in the past, and I can see now someone else doing it, and I could say, after the pride comes the fall. Like, this is arrogance and pride, and the fall is next. And I'm sitting here judging it. And then I hear a message. About I was watching on podcast Hardly Initiated last night, and Inky Johnson was on the podcast, and he was sharing his testimony about, how he got to the football field. He was like propped up to be this huge football star, and then he got paralyzed, and how that ended his career, but it projected him into something so much greater, where he could have so much more impact on so many more people. And I was like, wow, it kind of was like just a perspective shift for me. And then I was watching this whole other show that I just happened to be watching. And I'm reading the Bible right now, and I'm going to admit that I'm not at this part. So if I'm saying a name wrong or something wrong, it's because I just don't know. I'm just trying to give you the general idea right now. And they were talking about Apostle Paul started to get arrogant and prideful, and God humbled him by blinding him for 3 days. But then after that humbling, he did so much in his ministry. God was able to work through him. And last night when I was watching the show, Hardly Initiated, Inky Johnson was talking about how it was during that humbling period where his football career was gone. His body is now he has to learn to accept a complete change in the function of his body, that he was open for growth. He was open to learn things. His heart was wide open for everything he needed to take him into that next season. Like, he needed that positioning in his life, which on the outside looking in, you might be thinking that person failed, or, whatever you're thinking about their life at that moment, not knowing this is where the real seeds are about to be planted, because this is where the heart is open, and this is where God like really strategically took him to get him to be able to plant these roots that are going to reach way further than what his will, his human mind thought he was going to be able to do with football. God's plan was way greater than that. But it did take the humbling, and it did take the fall. So it made me think about how I was judging this person that hurt me. And I realized something. That's not for me to judge. What they're doing right now, what I may be able to see and think, oh, not that I'm doing like seeing it like cheerfully seeing that they're clearly projecting and clearly in this like arrogant, prideful space, but more of a like, yeah, I've been there. I see what's happening, and that's not good. But is it not good though? Because I was there, and I had my fall, and I needed that to get to the growth where I'm going right now. And that may be what their process is. But I have no idea in my human brain what God is doing with this person and how all of this is just a setup and a build up for their major victory, their major growth, their major impact, their major point in life where this arrogance takes them to a place where the real seeds can be planted. Because sometimes we think we're doing things like we have all these plans for ourselves. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to have this career. I'm going to do this. This is my plan. This is my plan. This is my plan. And God will let us get so far with that plan and think we're being successful, and something will happen and we'll go to where now God says, all right, now that you're back down here with me, I'm going to show you what's really about to happen with your life and how I'm really going to use it. And all you have to do is let him. So I have no business even looking and judging what seems dysfunctional to me is a setup. That's God's setup. That's God's springboard. That dysfunction that I'm sitting here judging because I'm a hurt friend, it could be God's springboard. So anyway, that was a huge lesson for me. And I'm taking it, and I love it. It's actually really beautiful, and it gives me a lot of peace. And that's all I had. Thanks for letting me come in and share that with you.